Hi designers, I'm Laura of Laura Irwin Design and Games, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I made Potions Please and I sold it through the Game Crafter. Potions Please started as a small board game project to teach me how to make a game and to sell a product. I did all the art, the marketing, and the mechanics of the game. It took me around a full year to produce and sell the game, and so I have some tips from my first time experience of being a game designer with the Game Crafter. So first, before you can sell a game, you have to make a game. So let's go into a little bit about how I made Potions Please. Potions Please was a game I came up with in the fall of 2018. It took me about a month to playtest it and get the first prototype set up. I did all the art for it, I printed it at Staples, and I put everything into clear sleeves, and I brought it to a local game convention. At the local game convention, I playtested it, and I got some great feedback from families and groups, and they actually wanted to buy my game on the spot. From that, I was able to further develop Potions Please into something I wanted to sell. After playtesting and refining my game for about 6 months, I was ready to get my first prototype from the Game Crafter. I did all the art for it, uploaded it, which later in the video I'm going to show you how to upload your images and how to set up your page to sell games on the Game Crafter. I got my first prototype where I picked out the cards, the sizes I wanted, and the amount. The amount is really important because it comes in packs of 18, and I actually saved $2 on my game just by decreasing my game by 5 cards, and it really didn't matter that much. So it's really important to look at the cost of the game when you're looking into Game Crafter. It is a little bit more pricey, so you're gonna have to be really smart about how you do things. I got the small Pro box, which I think is great quality. I also got the jumbo tuck box to see how people reacted to that as well. I thought it was a pretty good box for doing something that's kind of small, but it wasn't worth it to me. It didn't look as nice and it didn't feel as professional as the small Pro box, so I would go with that. I would suggest, if this is your first game, going for a print-on-demand or a smaller print run, as you know, whenever I talk to my game designer friends, they always say, well, your first game is going to be a game that you look back on in 10 years and absolutely hate, but you needed to make it. And it's important to just finish it and to have a final project and to learn from it as quickly as possible. And a small print run can give you that experience without having a huge cost to yourself and having the huge commitment of a Kickstarter or having 500 games. Next, I'm going to go into a voiceover talking about how you upload your game to the Game Crafter. So now I am going to show you how I made Potions Please in the Game Crafter. Now if you go to My Games, after you've logged in to your account, I have my copy of Potions Please here, but we're going to start an untitled game to show you what you need. I had a booklet, boxes, and a couple decks of cards. As you can see here, it lists out what the MSRP, which is the price that I priced my game at, what the actual cost of making the game is. This is a special discount I got for getting multiple copies of the game. I think if you sell over 75, you start to get a discount. The bulk cost, which this is what you would be charged for you buying the game during a crowd sale, and the profit. It also has page views, nibbles, sales, and accolades. You can earn accolades by doing different sales, completing art tests. So we're going to go to Make Games, My Games. We're going to make a video tutorial game, create a custom game, go to edit. I'm going to use what I had for Potions Please. So let's say I wanted to make the deck first. I use the poker deck. It lists what the pixels required for it is, the inches that it is, and you can get Illustrator, PNG, Photoshop, SVG, and proofing overlay ideas, templates for it, which make it really easy. It also lists out what you need as your dimensions for it, and it needs to be in RGB. So you're going to add a deck, click on a back. What's really interesting about Potions Please is it has two different types of decks, where one it has unique backs and the other one is standard for all the other cards. So this is the back card for this. I have set it at 825. We're going to open it up. Here it has this. Now we're going to look at it, make sure everything is in the right area, approve, and now we're going to edit cards, and this is how you add cards to your deck. You're going to drop them in. You have to make sure that they are the right file. We're just going to upload 3 for now. What I did is I just uploaded them all. If you have multiples of a card, it's really easy just to adjust it like that. And if it has, it will just use the same back as before. Now, before you can have your game go to print, you need to approve, make sure everything looks good, make sure all the cut lines are there. Approve, approve, approve. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back and show you how I do a unique back card. So I will pick anything for the background. I will just choose that as the background. We're going to edit cards, but this time we are going to upload cards. I'm going to upload all of my banishment cards. As you can see, you're going to make sure they look great, and then you are going to have a unique back to this card. So I'm going to select the back I've chosen and upload, check it, make sure it looks good, and that's how you do unique backs. I thought this was a little confusing when I was first doing it because I was getting used to the system and not quite sure how to upload things, but this is pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Now going to booklets, I had a medium booklet. You're going to add medium booklet, and then you're going to add pages. So for the first page, I'm going to have 7. Now I did all of this in Illustrator, but you can do it in any program that you have. I think it's really great just to use whatever you can. So here it has the front cover. You don't want that there. So we're going to do that page number 2. And then this one's going to be page number 1. You're going to want to get be a RPG or PNG. And what I do is I do all of my art in Illustrator. Then I export it to Photoshop where it gets rasterized. And I have everything set up with all the guides when I am in Illustrator, so I know everything is set to go. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how I did the box. I think boxes are the most difficult. I think it's just because when I'm looking at something, it's showing it to you horizontally, but you are usually used to writing vertically, so it's kind of complex to do it that way. Everything is where it's supposed to be. I got a UPC code, not from the Game Crafter, but I got it in case I want to sell it in stores from a UPC website, and then I also have all the information here. I would approve, and I would approve. One trick I find with making a box is I work vertically, and then I transfer it to Photoshop and make it horizontal. It just makes everything easier to look at, and that's where I can add any UPC codes, stuff like that that could change or needs to be different. Once you've made your game, you can start to sell it. I published my game to the shop, and to publish, you need to have a couple things figured out. A lot of it is banner ads. So this was a file I had to create. This is not required. It's great though. And I did this for a crowd sale where it is required to have this. You kind of fill in this information. Everything on the Game Crafter will be ages 12 plus. And you can kind of look at the themes, the settings, and you write in all your details. And here's all the accolades, and it lists out all the cards. So I think that it's a great little shop, and I think that I definitely could add more to it. It has an area for reuse as well. It's just a lot of format that you have to publish because you're going to have this banner, an area here for the game title. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So there's at least 3 images you have to upload besides that. And then if you're doing a crowd sale, there's a lot more images with different pixels that you need. I also really wanted to try out their crowd sale feature, which is sort of like a Kickstarter, but instead of you having to get people to put in money for it to get produced, it gets produced anyway, and it kind of just decreases the cost, and it gets you the ability to buy your game at the bulk cost on Game Crafter, which is much better. It's still not as competitive as other manufacturers, but it's pretty good. It also teaches you about how to make a almost a Kickstarter type video, how to campaign. They were really great about offering marketing services and allowing you to be like featured on their website every single day. So that was a pretty great perk. And that's what I did with Potions Please. I chose to go with the Game Crafter for the production of my game because it was my first game ever. I wanted to do a small run for under 100 copies, and the price was high, but it was still doable where it could be in the price range that I wanted to sell my game at. So it was a really good fit. Also, since I was so new at it and I had never made a game before or kickstarted anything, or done anything really professional in that sense, it was really nice to have a company handle the fulfillment and all that, and I think that was really helpful in getting my game actually produced and made. Thank you so much, guys. Like and subscribe if you liked this content, and I look forward to making more board game design related content. Bye!